work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, if the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are, stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best, show them what you about. We gotta love each other, stop killing each other. We gotta unitize and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self, that's the priority.
Been taught for so many centuries that they are nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of inferiority.
Our features and our skin and our blood, while we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel inferior.
We must no longer be ashamed of being black.
All right. Thanks, John. See, Jumbo, everybody, I'm your host, Catherine Hunter Williams, along with my co-host, Miss Catherine Blake, and we welcome you all once again to Satora's Black History Corner.
Amen.
All right. Our story is about our American African heritage and culture. Satora's Black History Corner internet program comes to you via satellite at www.ustream.tv.channel Flint Talk Radio. Once again, at www.ustream.tv.channel Flint Talk Radio. You can watch our program every second and fourth Monday of the month starting at 3:30. And also be sure to watch what's going on with political pundit Dr. George Moss every Monday at 2 p.m. But at this point in time, he's in Africa somewhere. It's nice to have a friend. Oh, he over in another country. Oh, wow. I didn't know you was back here. I thought you were still in Africa, that kind of stuff. But he's in Africa for at least, I think, the next 3 weeks.
Okay.
Or a month. I'm not sure. But that's where he's at. And I think he told us he was going to Namibia. But he had said earlier that he was not going back to Africa because when he was in Nigeria, they had sent him through some serious changes, and he was glad to get out of there and back into the States.
Okay.
But he back over there. I think it has to do something with Du Bois's festival or either Kunta Kinte.
Oh.
Something like that, some kind of festival. He's over in Ghana. That's where he's at.
Oh, I'll look that up.
Yeah, he's supposed to be. That's where he said, and that's what he said he was going for. As always, we'd like to invite you to call in with any questions or comments at 810-208-1854. John, I got a question for you. Is John in there? George told us, well, he told me, that over 200 to 300 people be watching the program.
Yeah, they come and go. I mean,
he said they come and go.
Yeah, they come and go. So you might not have exactly the same number as you start out with, but yeah, they come and go. I mean, they'll come in for a few minutes, leave. Some people might be at work, so you never know.
Yeah, whatever. Right. But at least he said 300. I said, you telling me a tale? He said, ask John.
No, he's right. I mean,
yeah, that's what he said. That's why he kept telling me the numbers was up there. But when I would go look at the program, I would see 2 viewers. He said those are viewers that come on after.
Right. Yeah, they're afterwards. Like, see, right now. Like I know a couple of times this it's not accurate accounting because fully accurate accounting because I've had 2 devices here watching the show, inside the script booth, it showed 0. Mm-hmm. Then I've gone back and I've had, I've seen that there was views right afterwards. So It's kind of weird. It's not the most accurate count.
Yeah, but there's still a good count.
That's a very good count.
Yeah, they watching the program, and you know, we used to say in the beginning, we just get 1 or 2, we doing good.
That's like another thing is too. You should make a push too to see if you got friends who are teachers during the African American History Month. In February, you should see if they can set up a projector. They can have access to the internet. They can pull these past shows up. And I can repost them, the YouTube links to your Facebook page so they can find them rapidly and they can use them. So,
okay. If I see some teachers or something, I will let them know that.
Right.
Thanks, John. Okay, now they got that out the way. That's good news. That is good news. I'm telling you. We not only tell our story about past great heroes and sheroes, but also about those living in present day. Today, our elders must keep our stories alive and pass them on to the youth, who will one day pass them on to their next generation, and so on. They got to pick up the baton. They the ones who got to lead us.
Absolutely.
They the ones who got to do it. So we got to get them youth into place. Y'all got to want to be in place. Y'all are the future. Got to get y'all. We got to get you. Somehow, I'm not sure, Catherine, but I would like to. And I'm sure it's already some youth programs started already. But it's got to be some other way that we could capture the youth and bring them to the table and have them sit and tell us what they want. Because they are the ones going to lead us.
Right,
they the ones. And I'm looking at them today. Most of them don't want to do anything. They wearing their pants off their butt. They just, and I always have to say something about that because I really kind of understand, but I don't. But I want people that, the youth, we got to get them together because you and I are their elders. We can guide them.
Yeah, that hurts my heart to see how they're more or less like disgracing themselves and they don't even know and understand what they're doing.
Right. It's like a lack of respect, ain't
right.
it?
Yeah, it's a disgrace.
For themselves.
Right.
And then if they disrespect, is that self-hatred?
Yes, it is.
Or no hope, It's like it's nothing that they can do, but it's a lot they can do.
Well, I can say for my great-granddaughters they are the joy to my heart. Brianna starts today her journalism class.
Okay.
And she is a 4th grader. And she's doing 5th grade work.
That's the oldest one? Okay.
And Kayana is starting her poetry class tomorrow. She's in the 3rd grade doing 4th grade work.
So they're going to be writers
somewhere
in there.
We shall see, because Brianna is so excited because she knows about her history. She loves to read the Bible. She's just an avid reader anyway.
Right.
And when the teacher suggested to her to join the journalist class, that she will be doing the newspaper for the school.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She will be helping out with that. And she is so excited about that.
Yeah, I would be too, to have that type of appointment at that young of an age.
Yeah.
She's going to get a skill.
Absolutely.
From out of this, and it would carry her. Oh, my goodness,
at that young of an age. And see, when you spot something special in a child, enhance it.
Yep, develop it.
Right.
Move them toward it.
Right.
That's why I always ask youth or children, what you going to be when you grow up? Because they're born with it. The Lord already has put that purpose in them.
Absolutely.
And some of them look at you with a blank stare. That means to me, nobody has ever asked this chap what they're going to be when they grow up. Okay? Now, when they do come to you and tell you, I want to be a fireman, don't douse their dream. No, you ain't going to be no fireman.
No
you
pun
ain't going to be
intended
no
there,
policeman.
right? No pun intended, right?
Right.
Don't douse their dream.
Don't douse their dream.
Fireman.
That's a good one, John.
You said it.
Because I do know people that have children and have had a son, and he wants to, when he grow up, I'm going to be a fireman. And his mother don't want him to be one, so she's counteracting that. That's dousing the dream. That's a
look at the career the career choice you're talking about, and the choice of the word douse.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just
that was a good one.
Don't douse it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So mom was playing a firefighter in that sense. Firefighter in that sense.
But now I asked the same little boy what he want to be. He don't know. And when he first told me, he was excited about it because that's what he wanted to be. Mm-hmm. But his mom done got him, and that's what I'm saying. You can't just take their dream away from them. Enhance their dream.
Well, my dad. Well, my dad was friends with the family. Was friends with the sheriff in Genesee County. Was the first black sheriff in Genesee County growing up. So my dad really liked the guy. So when people asked him as a little kid, "What do you want to be?" He said, "You want to be a black cop." Well, so I mean, he could be a cop, but black is a stretch. But white, but yeah, that's like I always thought that was kind of funny. He said he really liked, and he was actually one of the first officers actually killed in the line of duty. He was actually gunned down on the steps of the court building outside downtown Flint. Yeah, so he was like my dad. It took my dad My dad took it really hard because like 5 or 6 years old when that occurred. And so because the guy used to come around to the restaurant and bar that they had, at his after hours, and my dad got to know him, but. He said that really hurt him as a kid to see this guy, this guy got killed in such a horrific manner.
Wow.
He was one of the first.
But he did live some of the time of the vision that the Lord had put, the purpose that he was supposed to be in. Yeah,
that's exactly what my dad always thought. But I always thought it was cute. My dad wanted to be a black cop, and here's a white guy. But his parents had to break it to him gently. Well, you can be a police officer, but you're not.
But he admired some black cop there.
Yeah. See, the thing is that this was before my dad was born in 1930s something. So I mean, so he was a young boy. So I mean, Flint already had black police officers and stuff going on at that time. So I mean, black sheriffs, deputies. So yeah, so I like to find that guy's name and maybe do a tribute to him someday because that was one of my dad's favorite people as a kid. So
that sounds good, John.
Okay, we'll do.
That sounds good. Okay, as we said, pass it on to the next generation. If our young people refuse to take the baton of keeping our story alive, our story will cease to exist. And as Malcolm X says, a history is a people's memory, and without memory, man is demoted to lower animals. Okay? All right, young men and black women, it's time for y'all to stand up and take the baton.
Amen.
Now, with that out of the way, let's move forward. Today we're going to tell our story about astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Miss B is going to start our story off today with the first. Is this a series?
Yes, I want to do a series of black women in poetry. Because we have some black poets here that are beginning to get famous.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to start with Nikki Giovanni.
All right.
And I know, because we've done Phyllis Wheatley and a few others. And I might.
And Nikki Giovanni is with us. She's not.
Right, she's not
with
dead.
The ancestors. She's alive.
She is alive and well.
So, like I said, we talk about those that have passed on and those that are living with us today.
Right.
Yeah, so that children have someone, your granddaughter, for instance, writing poetry, can have someone that she can look up to.
Her first article that she wants to write about is the dinner we have for the homeless.
Oh,
the Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm telling you, what you're doing and putting in them children is awesome.
Okay, Nikki Giovanni is a world-renowned poet, writer, a commentator, an activist, and an educator. And over the past 30 years, her outspokenness in her writings and in her lectures has brought the eyes of the world upon her. And one of the most widely read American poets, she prides herself on being a black American, a daughter, a mother, a professor of English. And Giovanni remains as determined and committed as ever to fight for civil rights and equality, and always insisting on presenting the truth as she sees it. She has maintained a prominent place as a strong voice of the black community, and her focus is on the individual, specifically on the powers one has to make a difference in oneself. To make a difference in oneself. Ain't that what we were just talking about? And thus in the lives of others. Nikki Giovanni was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, and grew up in Lincoln Heights, an all-black suburb in Cincinnati, Ohio. She and her sister spent their summers with their grandparents in Knoxville, and she graduated with honors from Fisk University, and that was her grandfather's alma mater in 1968. And after graduating from Fisk, she attended the University of Pennsylvania and Columbia Universities. She published her first book of poetry, Black Feeling, Black Talk. That was Black Feeling, Black Talk. And that was in 1968. And within the next year, she published her second book, thus launching her career as a writer. Early in her career, she was dubbed as the Princess of Black Poetry. That's quite a name. Mm-hmm. And over the course of more than 3 decades of publishing and lecturing, she has come to be called both a national treasure and most recently one of Oprah Winfrey's 25 living legends.
Okay.
Living legends.
You know what's funny about Oprah Winfrey? She got her own network, and she was, when she was on television, regular, she was always interviewing people. Mm-hmm. And so when she got her own network, we thought she was going to stop doing that. In fact, she said she was not going to be doing that.
Well, she does.
But she does. Mm-hmm. She just does not have the audience. But she still interview people.
I watch sometimes, but she has some good shows on.
I'm talking about the audience like she did when she had on regular network channels. Because she had said she was getting away from that. And she did a whole lot of elaborate stuff before she left.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. Okay. It's just a little thought thrown in there.
Oh, that's a good picture of her there, too.
Mm-hmm. That's an up-to-date picture of her. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Many of Giovanni's books have received honors and awards. Her autobiography, Gemini, that's a good name, was a finalist for the National Book Award. Love Poems and Blues for All the Changes, Quilting the Black Eyed Pea, Accolades, and Hip Hop Speaks to Children. A celebration of poetry with the beat were all honored with NAACP Image Awards. Blues for All the Changes reached number 4 in the Los Angeles Times bestseller list, a rare achievement for a book of poems. And most recently, her children's picture book, Rosa, about the civil rights leader legend Rosa Parks, became a Caldecott Honor Book. And Brian Collier, the illustrator, was given the Coretta Scott King Award for the best illustration. Rosa also reached number 3 on the New York Times bestseller list, and shortly after its release, Bicycles, Love Poems reached number 1 on Amazon.com for poetry. And Giovanni's spoken word recording have also achieved widespread recognition and honors. Her album, Truth Is on Its Way, on which she reads her poetry against the background of gospel music, was the top 100 album and received the Best Spoken Word Album given by the National Association of Radio and Television Announcers. Her Nikki Giovanni poetry collection, on which she reads and talks about her poetry, was one of the 5 finalists for a Grammy
Did she get
award. She was one of the 5 finalists. No, she didn't get it. Giovanni's honors and rewards have been steady and plentiful throughout her career. The recipient of some 25 honorary degrees. She has been named, get this one, Woman of the Year by Mademoiselle magazine.
Oh, Mademoiselle.
The Ladies' Home Journal. And Ebony magazine. She was tapped for the Ohio's Women's Hall of Fame and named an Outstanding Woman of Tennessee. Giovanni has also received the Governor's Award from both Tennessee and Virginia. She was the first recipient of the Rosa L. Parks Woman of Courage Award, and she has also been awarded the Langston Hughes Medal for Poetry.
Wow.
Go, girl.
She got some great awards. That's
Yeah.
nice.
She is an honorary member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority and has received life membership and scroll from the National Council of Negro Women. That's the second oldest women's group. She was a member of Penn. She was honored for her life and career by the history makers. She has received the keys to more than 24 cities. A scientist who admired her work, now get a load of this one, even named a new species of bat he discovered for her.
A new
He
species
named a
of bat?
bat after her.
Nikki Giovanni Bat, huh? That's something.
And the Black Enterprise named her a Woman of Power Legacy Award winner for the work that expands opportunities for other women of color. And she is the author of some 30 books for both adults and children. And Nikki Giovanni is a university distinguished professor at Virginia Tech in Blacksburg, Virginia. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I thought I was going to sneeze. Sorry.
Okay. It's that time of the year, it's the weather,
Yeah.
and it's affecting a lot of people.
But she has won so many awards, and look up her poems and look up her books and gather them and indulge and I'll give them as gifts. Christmas is coming up.
Yeah.
And let someone know how great this lady really is, and you'll enjoy those poems to the point that it'll touch your soul.
We got some down at Page's Bookstore.
Nikki Giovanni.
Yep.
Amen.
At 132 West 2nd Street.
All
downtown
right.
Flint. I want to do a quote that she said about poetry. She said, I would call it in terms of writing in terms of poetry. It's a laundry list, because all you're doing is, this is who we are, and this is what we think, and this is what we feel, and this is why you know. I just wanted to admit, you know, that we didn't deserve this, and nobody does, and so I want to link our tragedy in every sense. You know, we're no different from anything else that has hurt. Now, she wrote this because she did a speech at about AIDS and stuff. We are Virginia Tech. And so she also thought that the ending of this thrice repeated part of her message, we will prevail. And it stuck, you know. And so at Virginia Tech, even 6 years later, they still are saying, we are. We are. We will prevail. We are Virginia Tech. We are. And that's a good claim for something, for a school where they are. But I like what she said, we will prevail. No matter what, we know we did nothing to deserve it, but neither does a child in Africa dying of AIDS, you know. They will prevail.
Amen.
That's a nice little quote for her, but I liked it in the terms of poetry. It's a laundry list. You
It's
just
a
write it
laundry
down.
list.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right. That's the our story of Nikki Giovanni. Giovanni, as I'm spelling it, because sometimes, you know, my words get twisted up. Now let's move on to our story of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a handsome man.
Yeah, a young man and very well known. He's getting more and more known. But a lot of his views I don't agree with. I'm telling you. He was born October 5th, 1958. That's him as a young boy. In Manhattan, New York City, United States. And they have to put that stuff in there because it might be a Manhattan somewhere else, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, he is an American astrophysicist and science communicator. He is currently the Frederick P. Rose Director of the Hayden Planetarium at the Rose Center for Earth and Space and a research associate in the Department of Astrophysics at the American Museum of Natural History. From 2006 to 2011, he hosted the educational science television show Nova, Science Now on PBS. And he has been a frequent guest on The Daily Show, The Colbert Report, Real Time with Bill Maher,
Yes.
and Jeopardy. Yes, he has. In fact, when I've seen him before, but I just seen him recently on The Colbert Report. No, the Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Okay.
And he was just so funny to me, and I said, let me do something with him. Because he's a young man. He's born in 1958. He's got to be in his early 50s, maybe late 40s, somewhere in there. Okay, it was announced on August 5th, 2011 that Tyson will be hosting a new sequel to Carl Sagan's Cosmos, a personal voyage television series. So y'all look for that. It should have been out, but I don't know where it's at.
Cosmos.
Yeah, Cosmos, a personal voyage. It's somewhere on television. Where? Maybe PBS. I don't know. Look out for it.
That's what it was when it first aired. It was Cosmos was on PBS.
Okay, so it's on. That was in 2011. It's 2013. So I'm not quite sure if he's still doing that now or not.
I was unaware he did that. I mean, I know that Carl Sagan did, and Carl Sagan's been dead for several years now.
Well, it was announced on August 5th, 2011.
No, I don't watch PBS because,
I do, because there's some interesting things on
there. I like
there.
the other stuff. There's a lot of other documentaries out there now that I watch available from
there
YouTube
are
and stuff. And it's just I don't like the political slant of NPR, or not NPR. Well, it's actually no, National Public Radio or PBS. Their political slant. They're always trying to push it, and I don't want to hear it. So,
I watch it for the different programs they have on there. I ain't thinking about their political stuff. Don't care. Okay. Tyson chose to attend Harvard University, however, where he majored in physics and lived in Courier House. He was a member of the crew team during his freshman year, but returned to wrestling.
What? He was a wrestler?
Eventually lettering in his senior year. In addition to wrestling and rowing in college, he was active in dance in styles including jazz, ballet,
Really?
Afro-Caribbean, and Latin ballroom.
What?
I'm telling you, the guy is funny, though. He ought to put on here that he could be a comedian. Tyler earned a bachelor's of art in physics from Harvard in 1980 and began his graduate work at the University of Texas at Austin, where he earned a master's of art in astronomy. Did I pronounce that right? Astronomy in 1983. In 1985, he won a gold medal with the University of Texas dance team at a national tournament in the international Latin ballroom style.
What?
Yeah. Man out here winning gold medals.
Wow.
For dancing.
Latin dance, that's real. Chili Peppers.
Well, I call the most sexy to me dance is the salsa. I love the salsa.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cha-cha-cha.
Tyson transferred from the University of Texas at Austin to Columbia University in 1988. At Columbia University, earned a master's of philosophy in astrophysics in 1989 and a doctor of philosophy in astrophysics in 1991. This brother is very educated for a person that deals with the stars. Y'all ever go to planetariums, you'll know what he deals with. He deals with the stars. Because when you go in a planetarium, it's just extremely dark in there, and you're looking look like you're looking in the ceiling, but actually it's like you're looking at the night outside. Yeah. I have been there, and it would be like rain would be falling. I have really enjoyed when I used to take my children over there. Okay. Under the supervision of Professor Michael M. Rich, now at UCLA, while doing his thesis, he observed at the Cerro Toledo Inter-American Observatory in Chile, where he collaborated on supernova cosmology. Yep, cosmo.
That's what it is. Cosmology.
Yeah, I'll tell you my tongue with some of these words.
Cosmology.
Cosmology. That's better. With the Kalian Toledo Tololo supernova survey astronomers in their work on establishing type La Supernovae as standard candles. I do not speak
Supernovas.
Italian. I think this is Italian. I'm not sure. Chile, is it? Chile is what? I don't speak Chilean then.
That's Spanish, I think, but it's like
It's Spanish.
See, all things are based Spanish, Portuguese, all that language is all based on Latin. And Latin's also used in scientific language, so the reason why language,
sure is,
yeah,
yeah.
the reason why Latin is because it's not used that often anymore. It's considered a dead language, but thus stable. So
Yeah.
they don't have the changing of like a language like English or any other vernacular now.
Thank you, John. These papers comprised part of the discovery papers of the use of type La supernova to measure distances, which led to the improved measurement of the Hubble constant and discovery of a dark energy in 1998. He also collaborated with Brian Schmidt, a future winner of the 2011 Nobel Prize in Physics, in the study of the measurement of distances to type 2 supernovae and the Hubble constant. I don't know what none of this is, but whatever it is, this is his world. All right. Okay, now in his career, I'm just going to give you some of the things he's done. Tyson has rewritten a number of popular books in astronomy. So maybe if I was to go and deal with some astronomy, I might learn what I'm talking about, because this is a new world for me. But I think there is children out there that may want to be an astrophysicist,
Right.
and he's a person that, as a role model, could look up to. In 1995, he began to write the Universe column for Natural History magazine. In a column he authored for the magazine in 2002, Tyson coined the term Manhattan Hinge to describe the 2-day annually on which the evening sun aligns with the cross streets of the street grids in Manhattan,
Wow.
making the sunset visible along unobstructed side streets. Tyson's column also influenced his work as a professor with the great courses. Okay, you people out there that are astrophysicists and scientists, y'all know what I'm talking about. But I'm not quite sure what I'm talking about. But
He also he has his lectures videotaped or recorded, and they sell them on this through this magazine through a catalog called Great Courses, and you can get all these lectures. Basically, it's like attending a college class with him.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like they're for like the whole entire series. I think it was like for his was like it was $200 some. But you also get a booklet. You basically can get a whole college almost college level credit class for about $300, which is, if you know anything about college class prices right now, it's a steal. So
So that's some information. If anybody wants to get off into it, they could go to the internet.
yeah, great. Go look up Great Courses, and that's they have subjects on it. They cover almost all the subjects. I just got a catalog from them Friday, so I just was looking at it. So. So they have a sale going on too. So
Okay.
so he's got one series on there that was offered on sale.
And they could take this course and they could get credit for
Well,
it.
they can't get credit, but they can actually get a college level understanding of all this stuff.
Okay.
They do a real good job. Not only do they have the lecturer presenting, they also have visuals. So you can buy it either in DVD format, a video download, or audio format, and they're different price ranges on. But they're really I know he's got 2 or 3 series out of his lectures out on for the Great Courses.
Okay, let's go up.
There's that picture today.
Yep, let's get up to date. In May 2009, he launched a 1-hour radio talk show called Star Talk, which he co-hosts with comedian Lynn Copeland. See, I tell you, he's a comedian himself. The show was syndicated on Sunday afternoons on KTLK AM in Los Angeles. So we sure wouldn't have got it here. The show lasted for 13 weeks, but it was resurrected in December 2010. Then co-host with comedians, see this man, he was funny to me, Chuck Nice and Leghand Lord instead of Coplets. Guests range from colleagues in science to celebrities such as Gaza, Will Wheaton, Sarah Silverman, and Bill Maher. The show is also available via the internet through a live stream or in the form of a podcast. In April 2011, Tyson was keynote speaker at the 93rd International Convention of Phi Theta Kappa International Honor Society of the two-year school. He and James Randi delivered a lecture entitled Skepticism, which related directly with the convention's theme of the democratization. I didn't say that right. Democratization of information, power, peril, and promise. Now, in 2012, Tyson announced that he would appear in a YouTube series based on his radio show Star Talk. A premiere date for the show has not been announced, but it will be distributed on the Nerdist, and it is a Nerdist YouTube channel. Okay, now I'm not going to go into his views because his views is not quite what I really agree with, but because if you ask him if he believed in a higher power, he has a definite response to that, which he's I don't know, he's a scientist, so I guess that's why he's like that. And then I just want to give you a quote.
Yeah, he deals with scientific facts.
Yeah, so they don't too much believe in a Heavenly Father God. So anyway, but I'm not going to go into it. But he has a nice piece about what he really feels about it all. Now, this is a quote. A most important feature is the analysis of the information that comes your way. And that's what I don't see enough of in this world. There's a level of gullibility that leaves people susceptible to being taken advantage of. I see science literacy as a kind of vaccine against charlatans who would try to exploit your ignorance. Okay? One more time. A most important future is the analysis of the information that comes your way. And that's what you don't see. No, I'm sorry. And that's what I don't see enough of in this world. In other words, he said we don't get enough information and we don't analyze it. There's a level of gullibility that leaves people susceptible to being taken advantage of. I see science literacy as a kind of vaccine against charlatans who would try to exploit your ignorance. Now he said this after he kind of said, when asked if he believed in a higher power, this is what kind of his response. And he said people get taken advantage of because of that. Well, this is our story on Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he's still here today among us. Like I said, his field is, he has several fields: astrophysics, physical cosmology, and science communication. If you ever want to go and understand a little bit more about Neil deGrasse Tyson, you can just type in his name on the internet, and all information will come up about this brother. This brother, to me, is a comedian, and I really enjoyed him the last time I seen him. And it's just, he also had his views about Pluto. You know, they removed the planet Pluto. But he did it in such a way that it was so funny. And that's what captured my heart. And I said, I want to do a story about him. Even though I can hardly pronounce some of the words that's in his world. Because my world is right here. And so, but I think foremost, he's just funny. But he has a lot of knowledge about astrophysics and about the stars and different things. And that's our story today about Neil deGrasse Tyson and Miss Nikki Giovanni. All right. All right. We hope you enjoyed the song you heard at the beginning of our program, Be Proud to Be Black, featuring Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. And if you would like to get a copy of it, the CD single, you can contact TP at 810-962-3258. That's 810-962-3258. As always, I like to say asante, which means in Swahili thanks to all of you who have watched our program today. And if you like what you have seen and heard, please pass it on to others. Until next time, keep on keeping on with us, along with the sounds of TP CD single, Be Proud to Be Black, featuring Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. May our Heavenly Father bless you, keep you safe, and in his perfect hotep, which means peace.
The importance of moral reformation, a knowledge of
We
self.
must work passionately and unrelentingly for first-class citizenship.
For instance, the average so-called Negro, he doesn't think that he can go into business and provide jobs for himself.
We've got to get smart. We've got to organize.
And because of this, he thinks that he can only get a job from the white man, or he can only get clothes from the white man, or he can only get food from the white man.
We've got to organize so effectively and so well and engage in such powerful creative protest that there will not be a power in the world that can stop us.
We gotta be proud to be black. Don't worry about what they say. We gotta think smarter and live smarter. We gotta want more and work harder, cause they ain't giving it to us. Put your all in. If you truly wanna make it, can't be waiting for handouts, baby, you gotta take it. Like Martin gotta have a dream, cause he had one. Like Malcolm, by any means, gotta get that done. Don't be ashamed of who you are, stick your chest out proud. Make them believe that you're the best, show them what you about. We gotta love each other, stop killing each other. We gotta unitize and don't believe the lies. This is a message to the blacks and any other minority. Live well and love self, that's the priority. TP.
Been taught for so many centuries that they are nobody is not easy.
So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity.
Maybe the English language should be reconstructed so that teachers will not be forced to teach the Negro child 60 ways to despise himself and thereby perpetuate his false sense of inferiority.
Hating our features and our skin and our blood, why we had to end up hating ourselves. It made us feel inferior.
We must no longer be ashamed of being black.